Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 Premium SPG, and this one's located on the north spawn of Serene Coast under the command of Running Hawk. Now, it's in the Pepe Le Pew colours. As you can see, Pepe Le Pew, the character, the skunk from the Warner Brothers cartoons. And it's another of the lovely skins produced by Sir Rusty. Thank you so much for doing them. Got our logo on the side as well. And Running Hawk's moving off to a firing position. Now it's a 105 light field howitzer, and that's where the leFH comes from. Light field or Leica Feldhowitzer. And it's mounted on a B2 chassis, which is the Child B1 tank, which was captured by the Germans after the fall of France, and they used those heavy tanks, some of them as flamethrower tanks, and a few, 16 of them in total, were actually turned into Arty. And the gun's mounted very high, which means that this particular Arty, in fact, it's one of the few premium SPGs in the game, has got a very long view range. It's 390 meters, which is longer than some heavy tanks can see. And I think you can explain that away by saying, well, the gun is mounted very high on the Arty, and he's fired around at the Crusader. Oh, look at that shot! 445 hit points for this first shot there of the game. Now, I know that Running Hawk picked up this this Fifi, as we call it, Fifi La Pew Pew, and he actually picked it up in the loot boxes from the Holiday Ops. And this was only his 7th game in this Arty. He certainly likes it. Fires around in there, but doesn't stay to see whether the shell lands, because we've got some enemy heavies trying to make their way through the pass. And so he's going to lay a few shells down here and see if he can get some hit points out of these enemies. He's dialing in, rounds out, direct hit, 114 hit points. Reloading quickly. It's about a 10-second reload. Another direct hit, 29 hit points this time. In fact, I think his reload time is actually quite a bit faster. He's just fired another round in, and that one missed. Looks like his reload time's about 8 seconds, 9 seconds. He's using premium consumables, gets 90 hit points off the KD1. His reload time is very fast, and he gets another 54 hit points. That KB220 is getting hit as well, rounds out, just goes over the top of his turret, lands behind him. Churchill 3, round out, oh, just goes over the top again. Now, can he get a round in? It's normally a very accurate Arty, this one. He gets a hit this time, 110 hit points, but we lose the KV1 on our team. And the KV220 is trying to come through the pass. And OI is on fire, or rather the OI experimental, and he's burned up. But can we still get shots into this KV220? I think so. Round out. No, it just misses, and we're going to lose sight of them very shortly. We've got a Leopard who's nearby, but he's switched aim and he's going for the enemy Leopard, which has just turned up out of the dip. Panzer 4H is going after him, and he's in our platoon. So look, it's Fire Hottie. Is that Fire Hottie Tibbers? Fire Hot Tibbers. What's a name? That is quite a name, that one. Well, we actually took some damage off our own teammate, I think, there. Or did we? No, we didn't. We didn't actually lose anything. I think it was the Panzer 4H was losing hit points to that enemy. We're going after a Matilda Black Prince. Dialing in, rounds out. Now we've got to watch out because there's a Churchill 3 trying to cross the water, and he spotted it. I must admit, I spotted it as soon as my eyes flick back to the mini-map. We should also pay attention to any time. And no, nothing in sight at the moment. The Wolverine's just down by the ridgeline, so he should be able to see if that Churchill comes across. Here he comes. Right, round out. It hits the water next to the Churchill. There's a Su-85 over there. We're dialing in on him. Round out. Wiped out. That was a one-shot kill there, and the Churchill 3's gone down. There's a bathtub. That bathtub needs filling with a 105 round, and he gets it! One-shot kill again. 330 hit points. So that's 2 kills he's had in quick succession. There's only 5 enemy left, but there's only 3 left on our team. Only 3. All the other team members have been wiped out, including our platoon mate. Now the big worry now is the enemy are going to come directly through that pass and attack us, but we're looking overhead and we can see the AMX CLC. It's almost like he's headed back to his own cap. Oh, that's our AMX CLC, sorry, not the chatty. Okay, well, we're relocating to get tight behind the trees. Okay, the chaffy's been spotted and he's been wiped out by the ELC. Right, there's only 4 left on the enemy team, so that's even scores up a bit. They've got an Arty, an AMX 13AM, which is not really a match for the Fifi. They've also got 2 Wolverines and a Matilda Black Prince. On our side we've got the Stug, the AMX CLC and the Fifi, and they've all got 2 kills apiece on our team. Okay, so ELC is making his way across the water. And I'm wondering if that will be a wise decision to actually go down that peninsula, because he might be spotted by the Wolverine. One of the Wolverines might be holed up, waiting for somebody to make a quick trip across. If he was to cut across the inside of the lake, that might be safer, because then he could appear almost at the other end of the peninsula before the enemy sees him and shoots at him. He's looking in all the places that he might think that the enemy will be. I think the enemy Arty. Oh, there's one of the Matildas. He's close. In fact, the Matilda, not one of the Matildas, the only Matilda, and he's very close. Oh, that round was a bit premature, but we're in the dip here. We're a bit lower than the Matilda, so all he could see is the very top of the Arty, and we're pulling back into the trees, and we've knocked one over, but I don't think it matters at this point in the game. We'll fire one in at Matilda and get 104. Gonna need at least another 4 shots like that. He's side on, we can do a lot of damage now. 110. And we took a round from the Matilda. He doesn't like being hit. And he's gone. He was killed in the end by the Stug. And we're changing position to avoid the enemy Arty getting a shot. Well, now that the scores are even, it looks like they've decided to go to the enemy cap. Now the Fifi is, or Pepe Le Pew in this case, isn't that fast. It is, after all, based on a heavy tank, which is quite heavy. And there's one of the enemy right now. We found the Wolverine, and he's in the dip. And we have got a shot on him. We're just dialing in the aim. We fire around him prematurely, and unfortunately it misses him. But we can get another shot very shortly. We've got 9 rounds of heat, and that one goes in, but it doesn't do any damage. Heat ammo, you need to get a direct hit. Oh, and we fired another round of heat in just as the Wolverine was killed. We've got 8 rounds of AP and 7 rounds of heat, and you have to get direct hits in order for them to work. Much better to carry lots of HE in the Fifi, because HE's got splash. You only need to land around near the target and you can do damage to them. Of course, the splash radius on the shells isn't that great, compared to some of the other Artys, but there is some splash. Now, if I was in an enemy Arty, I think I'd be on the west side, so the other side of the tracks. And that's where he's looking right now. He should be looking where the AMX CLC can see, because that's most likely where the enemy Arty will be spotted. So now he needs to look at the other side of the tracks in that corner. And he's not been seen there. In which case, the enemy Arty might be down at this end in the pass. Oh, now somebody is capping. And I think that there's a very good chance that that will be the enemy Arty. And that's why they couldn't find him. He's up this end. Well, Running Hawk is going to go back to his cap. And the gun on this tank is very good at shotgunning. Yes, the Wolverine's been found, so it must be the AMX. The Wolverine is being attacked by the AMX CLC, who's got one round into him. And they've taken out the Wolverine, which means it's just the AMX 105 AM. He's also got a 105mm gun. But this one is French, and okay, now if he's got Sixth Sense, he does got Sixth Sense, he's moved, he knows he's been seen, and he's looking in this direction. But if we can hold him here, then our teammates can get shots into him. He's going to have to look this direction, otherwise we'll take him out. And wait for it. There's one round in. That's from the AMX. Now we go for it. And he's got the kill shot, came from the Stug. And that wins the game. Well, that was quite a turnaround at the end. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. It's the second class tanker for Running Hawk in the 105 leFH18B2. In fact, actually, it's the first second class tanker he's had in this Arty. He also got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 15. And he got a High Caliber for the most damage in the battle, and a Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. Let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see on a reduced numbers game, he actually managed to get 1,743 hit points of damage during that game, which is more than the Churchill 3, who managed 1,350, and the MX CLC, who managed 1,174. When it came to kills, it was Churchill 3 who managed... Oh, no, sorry, Stug 3 who managed to get the highest amount. He got 6 kills in total. He got his top gun there. And it was the Churchill 3 who managed 3 kills. And then, obviously, Running Hawk got 2 alongside the ELC and the KV-222 on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, it was the ELC who got the highest amount, 834. Then came Running Hawk with 761. And then the Stug 3G with 703. The Churchill 3 managed 761 from that game as well, same as Running Hawk. If we look at detail report, we can see he fired 27 rounds, got 12 direct hits, 3 penetration and 10 splash, damage of 1,743 hit points, of which 1,522 were at more than 300 meters. He received 2 hits from the enemy, both of them were penetrations, both from the Matilda Black prints. And they did penetrate because obviously they were big enough caliber to go through the armor of the Char B1, or the B2 I should say. He received 1 hit as a result of splash damage as well, spotted 1 enemy vehicle, damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 2 of them, and did damage assistance of 252 hit points. On a premium count, he earned 43,671 credits, and after repair and ammunition resupply, remember he did fire a couple of premium rounds during that game. His ammunition resupply cost him 11,200. It wouldn't have been anywhere near that if he'd actually kept most of the HE. But he did take away 31,759 credits, even after paying for the premium rounds. He received 2 bonds, one for the High Caliber, one for the Confederate, and he also picked up 1,141 XP, plus 69 XP completing the missions, 457 because this is a premium vehicle, and 1,141 because it's a personal reserve bonus running for 100%. So he took away 2,809 experience points altogether. And the good thing about this is he can now train up his French crews on his French arties and get them really highly trained with lots of skills so that he can make the best of his Fifi in battle and make the best of those arties in battle. So yes, very good game there by Running Hawk. My only suggestion actually is, as I said earlier during the game, is to carry more HE than heat rounds or AP rounds, because the difficulty is, in order to make those rounds count, you have to actually hit the target, and that means you have to dial in perfectly on the target, fully dialed in, before you can shoot, because otherwise the chances are you'll miss, and if you miss, it just makes an expensive hole in the ground and doesn't really do anything. If you carry HE, it doesn't matter if you get a near miss, because you will still do some damage to the enemy tank. And so HE is the preferred round on the Fifi, but a lot of Fifi drivers do carry 1 or 2 rounds of heat or maybe AP, just in case they do come into close contact with an enemy tank. Say an enemy light tank rushes you, or an enemy heavy finds you at the end of the game. If you put an HE or a heat round rather into them, then you're going to do a lot more damage. And I've seen enemy heavies taken out very nicely with a heat round at the end. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.